Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Right off the top, we have some important officials who want to talk about the hazards of 5G. Who are they and where are they going to be?
Yes, Dr. Martin Paul, who is a scientist, a researcher. He was a professor at the University in Portland, Oregon, University of Washington in Portland. He is a world-renowned researcher, and he is going to be coming to the Victoria, Salt Spring, Nanaimo, Bowen Island, and Vancouver areas late June, early July. I have only one firm venue right now, but I think people should take note. They'll be able to go on our website, and as soon as we have definite venues, they will be on our front page of our website. But for now, Salt Spring will be having a public presentation on June 26th at 7 o'clock at the Gulf Island Secondary School, 232 Rainbow Road in Ganges. And he will also be speaking at Centennial Park, which is an outdoor venue. Lovely on the weekends. It will be on June 29th, 10 to 2. Also with him, first of all, Dr. Paul's specialty is to talk about the biological harms. He has worked on the identification and explanation of how microwave radiation damages cells and DNA. He is very concerned and has written many articles and reports advising that he believes that the DNA damage that's being done to current generations in our young children now will cause deficits and damages to children for the next 3 or 4 generations. And with the fertility issue being prime, he believes that unless we do something now, there's a severe possibility that fertility will be irreparably low in about 4 or 5 generations. So he's a major person that people need to listen to. And he is warning about 5G, this proliferation with all the new cell towers and with all the microcells that are going along the street. He is warning that this should be stopped now. These are even more dangerous than the current cell towers and cell phones and smart meters. And Dr. Sheckley is going to be attending with him. He's going to be presenting in Salt Spring, and we hope he's going to be presenting in Victoria with us. He is the author of The Wired Cities, and he is encouraging people to look at fiber optic cable. It's a safe alternative so long as it has no wireless components. Right now, TELUS is using wired fiber optic as a gimmick to assure people that it's doing its job. It's bringing you a great favor by bringing fiber optic cable to your home, when in reality what it's doing is bringing fiber optic cable to the telephone poles and hydro poles outside your home that will hold the microcells. The microcells will be the last leg and will be shooting microwave radiation into your homes. Dr. Sheckley is encouraging people to set up their own networks, community networks, where internet is controlled, access is through fiber optic cable all the way, and he has a lot of really good and interesting suggestions for people that would allow us to escape 5G and the tyranny of TELUS and the other telecommunications companies. So he's going to be speaking with Dr. Paul on Salt Spring on the 26th and 29th. Then they're coming over to Victoria. Our timing isn't great because of the long weekend, but we're going to be having presentations on July 3rd. And the venue, we're still working out the venue. And I will have that available, but it will be on the evening of July 3rd. So I hope people will circle their calendars for that. And then we hope both of them, for sure Dr. Paul, we hope Dr. Sheckley could change his schedule and to accommodate. They will be presenting the evening of July 4th up in Nanaimo. And again, I don't have a venue, but it will be the evening, approximately 7 o'clock in Nanaimo. And from there, he's going to be going over to Bowen Island, and then to Vancouver. And neither place has advised me of their timing or venue yet. But people should go to our website, www.stopsmartmetersbc.com, and I will make sure that the information is on the front page of our website.
Now, Sharon, you were saying that warnings are being given out that politicians could be legally liable for any damage caused by 5G. What's behind that?
What's behind that is an article that was in the Vancouver Sun in November of 2016, and it spoke about Dr. William Rees of the University of British Columbia, who is an ecologist there. And he was speaking about the environment and the fact that our politicians, local and federal and provincial, are not taking heed of the science as far as climate change and other environmental factors. And he said that, in his opinion, they would be liable under the criminal code. And, their jobs are to protect the public. There isn't anything else that they're supposed to do in their job. When they take their office, they have a legal obligation to ensure the well-being of the people they represent and they work for. And Dr. Rees said, and this is a quote, "The Criminal Code, Section 219, is clear that the lack of intent to harm is no defense. If the damage results from conscious acts performed in careless disregard for others." Now, if we are sending scientific evidence from experts, peer-reviewed, that other countries find acceptable, that hundreds of scientists the world around are saying this demands action, precautionary action, and our bureaucrats as well as our politicians are ignoring these, it sounds to me like they could be held legally guilty of negligence. I myself have sent so many articles, hundreds, to every level of government, from Health Canada to our provincial health authorities, to Barry Kendall, to Bonnie Henry, to everybody. I sent them to every politician I can think of, MLAs, to the prime ministers, to the premiers. No one has done anything. School trustees have been given so much information by so many parents who are concerned about Wi-Fi in schools. We've raised the hue and cry. You know that, Jim. You've helped me do it for smart meters and now for 5G. And they refuse to do anything. What they need to know, and I think we as their employers and the public who will suffer as a result of their negligence, need to remind them that they are duty bound to take these things seriously and to protect us. And if they don't, somehow or other we're going to hold them responsible. This is not a threat, it's a promise. We will figure out a way to hold them responsible.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
I'm Douglas Mason, CEO of Naturally Splendid, symbol NSP on the TSX Venture Exchange. Naturally Splendid is a biotechnology and consumer products company focused on the global cannabis and health markets. Naturally Splendid is expanding distribution in this rapidly growing market with products currently in Canada, the USA, South Korea, Germany, and Australia. To view our comprehensive company presentation and for more information, please visit our website at naturallysplendid.com.
Grand Portage Resources' Herbert Gold Project in southeast Alaska highlights increased gold resource, indicated and inferred, of 860,000 ounces, in excess of 10 grams per ton gold. Expansion drilling is planned on the Herbert Gold property for the summer of 2019. Grand Portage Resources trading symbols are GPG on the TSX Venture, GPTRF on the OTCQB, and GPB on Frankfurt. For more information, please visit our website, grandportage.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, are some U.S. governments expressing concern about the safety of 5G?
Oh, governments all over the world are. In the U.S., places like Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco are looking at ways to put bans on any installations of 5G transmitters. As in Canada, the federal government holds control. They won't let people even argue against cell towers or cell transmitters based upon health issues. And so cities are looking at ways of banning it. These microcells are being put on telephone poles and power lines throughout almost every city. We've got them here in Victoria. I know they're in Vancouver. And there will be more of them placed every 100 or 200 meters. And no one is being told. Many cities don't know it. The councils don't know it. They're doing it with disregard because the federal government is allowing it. And this is one of the things that Dr. Sheckley is saying. We shouldn't allow it. We should take control over the internet system ourselves. But cities like Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco are looking at ways because they are constrained just as we are by the ridiculous federal policies. But around the world, places like Belgium and areas of Rome and Florence and Switzerland and Germany and Russia are all in the process or have already placed bans on 5G. The technology is using frequencies that are milliwaves. The milliwaves that they use have only been used as military weapons. They have never been used for anything else yet. And the military thinks they're dangerous. They think they have a potential to burn people, to hurt people, to even kill people. So why are these being used outside our homes? And the industry itself is admitting how very, very dangerous this is. There is an article in an industry catalog, in a brochure that I received about a month ago, and it admitted that the way this is going to be sold and is going to be used is like a laser beam. Milliwaves themselves are very, very short and only go a few hundred feet. That's why the microcells are going to be put, very close together. But the industry has found a way to make them stronger and to make them more effective at penetrating anything. And they're going to be using things called phased array antenna, which the engineers are saying these are very, very dangerous. These are so powerful. They can go miles and they can penetrate steel. These are very bad. And the industry itself is basically saying that this is going to be like a laser beam thrown directed straight into your home. This is a very dangerous thing. And 5G is proliferating. The cell towers are being put up now all over the province. All at once, I'm getting word from people. From Thetis Lake, from Coombs, from Gold River, in Vancouver, in Penticton. New cell towers are being put up. And all of a sudden, this has to do, I'm sure, with 5G, with the 5G grid, because they're going to have these to put the phased array antenna on. And TELUS, if you read last night's update, Jim, you saw that TELUS for the first time is admitting that putting its fiber optic cable throughout neighborhoods is the first step in its 5G infrastructure for that area. This is growing everywhere throughout the province. Prince George right now is being sold a bill of goods that 5G is the best thing ever. It's going to give you the fastest internet ever. It's going to give you things connectivity. The eventual goal is to connect everything to the Internet of Things. It will allow you to shut your door, to turn your oven on, to turn your washer on, to make sure your hair dryer is turned off. Everything is going to be, quote, smart, and it's going to be controlled through the cloud. This is the goal.
Sharon, doesn't that mean you're much more hackable? They can turn on your furnace, turn it off, turn on your hair dryer.
Absolutely. You've hit the big thing on the head, Jim, in addition to health. This is a horrible possibility. And our data is so valuable. We also have industry talking about the fact that data is going to be gathered from all of these things. So it's going to be out there through the Internet, through the cloud. And once it's out there, it's for everybody to use. And the grid is very, very vulnerable. There were some of the politicians in Canada, I'm sorry I can't remember the name, who were talking about the fact that the grid, both in the U.S. and Canada, is extremely vulnerable. The cybersecurity measures are basically non-existent for this type of technology. And we know that China, and probably Russia, I don't know, the ones I hear about are Chinese, practice getting into the grid all the time, hundreds of times a day. They're feeling their way through, which of course is made easier by the fact that Chinese companies are making the transmitters and participating with TELUS to build the grid. So
I remember the head of Huawei said, we're not putting in spy devices in our phones. We challenge anybody to find the back door, which to me means they've done such a clever job of hiding it, they know you won't find it.
Yep. And something else that's interesting, Jim, even if it's not a hack, look at the accidents. Did you hear that it was in, I think, Toronto earlier this week? Maybe it was New York. I'm sorry, I can't remember where. About a week ago, Google went down in a particular large city. And people who use all of these things, you know, who have a lot of smart things connected, they couldn't get into their houses. They couldn't turn their lights on. Google went down, the Internet went down, and they couldn't use any of their smart fobs. They couldn't turn their cars on. Isn't that interesting?
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after this.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Magnum Gold Corp, MGI and the TSX Venture Exchange. A 2015 drill program on the LH property intersected several high-grade gold intersections, including 11 meters of 20.66 grams per ton gold. Additional drill targets on the LH property have been identified by a 2018 drone airborne magnetic survey to further evaluate a pyrrhotite-enriched gold-bearing system. Please visit our website at magnumgoldcorp.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking to Sharon Noble. Sharon, thanks to your efforts, the Goddard Report broke the story in North America that Lloyd's of London would not insure any damage caused by all this electromagnetic radiation being sparked by the Internet and Wi-Fi and so on. But are other insurers now making warning noises about it?
Absolutely. Yes, we broke the story, and this was a number of years ago, Jim.
You got it.
About Lloyd's. And Lloyd's, as people will know, is one of the largest insurance companies in the world, and the one that will insure anything. It will insure skydivers, and it will insure motorcycle racers and all sorts of people who are in dangerous occupations that no other insurance company will cover. Under their reinsurance contract, they will cover people. But it's been since I think it was 1998. Lloyd's has a waiver in their policy saying that they will not cover any health-related claims that are as a result of exposure to microwave radiation. And because so many other companies follow Lloyd's lead, because they respect them so much, they know what they're doing, they know the risk. Many companies have these waivers now. And I warn people who are being asked to lease their land or their property or the top of their apartment buildings for cell towers to know that they will not be able to get insurance to protect themselves against lawsuits when people sue them because they become ill. The cell companies themselves, the telecoms, are indemnified by our government. They will not be held liable. So when people start looking at people to sue, they will be coming to the individuals who are making money, not very much as it is, but making money from leasing their property to the cell towers. And they will not be able to get insurance anywhere. I have not seen any insurance company that still offers insurance for this.
Sharon, what can people do if they're concerned, and should they be letting their local politicians know that they're not going to take this?
They should be raising their voices loudly, Jim. You know, you and I have been talking about this for years now, and nothing has changed. Health Canada is still hiding behind the World Health Organization, and our local public health officials, Dr. Bonnie Henry, who is the provincial health officer on Vancouver Island, it's Richard Stanwyck. We need to get to these people and tell them they are guilty, and we are considering holding them in contempt and guilty of negligence for not doing their jobs. We shouldn't be placid about this. We shouldn't be apathetic, because we're going to pay in the long run. And if we don't, our children will. Things are not getting better, they're getting worse. And there have been several articles, there will be another one in tonight's update, about the World Health Organization's corruption and bias. It is bought off by the industry. Just as the pharmaceuticals are running so many government agencies and health agencies, the telecom is also extremely influential. It has its own people in the World Health Organization. It also has its own people in Health Canada and in the FCC in the U.S. They make huge amounts of money, and they pay no penalties at all for not doing their jobs. And I think it's time we tried to change things. Scientists are writing and accusing the World Health Organization of bias and corruption. And I think it's time that we did the same thing. And we need to start educating our doctors who know that that microwave radiation, cell phones, Wi-Fi, cordless phones, baby monitors, things that people are wearing now, these Fitbits, these are dangerous. The doctors have not been educated on it by and large. Until recently, there were no medical colleges that taught this, but they are now. And the new doctors might know something about it, but most doctors don't. And most doctors are hesitant to take the word of a layperson. So get information from people like Dr. Martin Paul, from some of the other many doctors and scientists that you'll find on my website. Get this information to your politicians, to your doctors, and share it with your friends. It's going to be word of mouth. We've got to have a groundswell, Jim. We've got to get as many people as possible behind this. If they can do it in France and Italy, why can't we do it here?
Sharon, where are the websites people can go again to get more information?
My website is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com.
Sharon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you as always, Jim.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. You just heard the website. If you have any questions for Sharon or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet, our YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.